Hey guys, what's up? This is your girl Megan, and I know you're so mad at me because you've been checking back every week on YouTube and I've been nowhere to be found. But it's okay because I'm back to make your life better by reviewing week 6 of our summer initiative. And usually I have a book that or something of that nature into the camera, but unfortunately everything's packed up going to my new apartment. So pretend this is a book and we're going to flash it right into the camera because this week we are going over The Lucky One. Girls, don't get too excited because I know right now you're like me and picturing a very shirtless Zac Efron. Yeah, okay, we're not going to think about that. But we're just going to pretend swoosh. So here we go into week 6. So in my last video, when I was pleading for your forgiveness for not uploading a video for 2 full weeks, I was telling you that my fiance is reading the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter book and how I must read it and I must read it. And for like a half a second, I thought about it. But I ended up going with Zac Efron because he was shirtless and beautiful. And every time I read the book, I kind of thought about him. And then I started thinking about High School Musical. And I figured like we were all in this together. So for the nerds, I just totally quoted a High School Musical song. But the point of it was kind of like, do you go with what the boys would like for this one or what the girls would like on this side? And I just kind of realized that my fiance and I are like total different people. And this little segment, I'm going to show you exactly why I decided to go with The Lucky One.
Pour that shit. Pour that shit. West side till I die.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe, and I'll have to look right at your baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
Yeah, I know that I give like Carly Rae Jepsen a run for her money, and I understand that I'm a better singer than her. I even understand that Justin Bieber could possibly be very sad that I turned down his record label and he had to go to that second rate. My point is, he and I are very different, and I have a feeling that I wouldn't have liked Vampire Hunter. So I did go and choose The Lucky One, and I'm really glad that I did because 0 out of 5 stars, I give it a 5. However, when it came to the movie, other than Zac Efron being shirtless, I was flipping lost throughout the entire thing. At one point, I'm actually thinking none of this happened in the book. So, if that's what you're basing it off of, I promise you, you will like the book more than the movie. It's not even remotely the same, so you can't base the movie off of the book. So, go get the book if you haven't read it, and if you do have it, bring it out because you're going to be ready to answer our question at the end of this video. Okay, so we've gone over the basics, so let's go over what the book actually is. Logan is in the army, and he's an Afghan on his 3rd tour, and in the process of a raid, a person loses a photo. And as he's a big runner, so he runs every morning to keep in shape, and as he's running, this photo is like ricocheting off of the sun and blinding him. So he runs over and he picks it up and he flips it over, and it just says E on the back, which is totally different because in the movie it says X. I don't understand why you would change such like a minute detail. It just makes no sense to me. But anyway, when he turns it over, it's this really beautiful blonde, and he keeps it in his pocket, and he's going to go find somebody who else, like, whose it belongs to. And in the process of this, he never finds it, obviously, because the person who had it has died. Now, the weird part is, he starts going through all these different scenarios where he should die, and he gets convinced by his best friend that this picture is his guardian angel, and it's what's keeping him alive. So he vows if he makes it all the way through his tour, he's going to go home and find this girl wherever she may be and pay her back, however it can be, and thank her for saving his life. Logan survives everything, and he makes it home, and he begins his walk from Washington all the way to South Carolina. Now, in the movie, he actually walks to Louisiana, which you can't see my hand motions, but that's a pretty big difference. And I just don't understand why you would change such a detail when all of Nicholas Sparks' books are based out of South Carolina, because that's where the dude's from. Why change it? I just don't understand. I just don't. It's okay, because together we all took this really deep breath, and we learned that it would be okay, and we could just keep going with the book, and when we do, we learn that he walks around with his beautiful German Shepherd dog, Zeus. Now, in the movie, he is not a big character. However, in the book, he plays a massive role. Because as Logan walks, he comes across this creepy sheriff who is out watching these young girls from the University of North Carolina, whoop whoop for my Tar Heels, and these girls are sunbathing, so he's like, why is this creepy dude taking pictures of her? When Logan walks up to this sheriff, whose name is Clayton, he sneaks away his camera and disappears down the road and starts walking again. The sheriff Clayton then realizes he's in big trouble because he has actually checked that camera out from the department, and so somebody turns it in, he's going to be in huge trouble from his daddy, the mayor. Now, why does all this make sense? Because as Logan is walking down the road, Clayton is so freaked out, he pulls Logan, well, not pulls him over because he's walking, but he makes him turn around, but he is so terrified of this German Shepherd that he never messes with Logan, not one time. Skipping ahead a little bit, because I don't want to tell every detail. I mean, you want to read some of the book, and you want to be surprised with your own details that you find. We end up finding out that Clayton is actually Elizabeth's ex-husband. So as Logan finds Elizabeth in this little bitty town, they kind of become an item as they work together, and Clayton becomes very jealous, and of course Logan knows Clayton knows, and Clayton knows Logan knows, so it's like a back and forth kind of battle of not going to say, but going to kind of say, kind of get in your face, not kind of get in your face. But it's really good back and forthness. In the end, someone dies. I can't really tell you a whole lot because it'll spoil you for the ones that have not read it yet. But for 15 to 20 pages, my heart literally stopped because you go on this huge ride with Logan. He's been in the Tory, he doesn't know how to love, he's not sure how to tell Elizabeth everything. So it's kind of like a creepy thing if some guy was to walk all across the United States to get to you. So you really sympathize with him, and you want Clayton to not be such a gigantic ass. But as you do this back and forth, and they both go to save Elizabeth's son because Logan's become so close to the family working, and they kind of date here and there. When Clayton and Logan jump in the water, and if you've seen the movie, then you know who dies. But if you don't, when you read it, it's totally different because it leaves you on the edge of your seat. You just don't want it to be Logan, and you secretly wish the asshole would just die. So for those of you who haven't read it, I think my question for the week, and if you haven't read it, then I suggest that you stop because I'm about to reveal who dies. My question would be, what do you think would have happened if Clayton wouldn't have died trying to save his son? Do you think because he saved his son, all of a sudden you get a little sympathy for him? If he survived, do you think Elizabeth would have went back to him? Do you think his ways would have changed? Or do you think he just would have been the same jerk, beat up his wife, and live off his dad for the rest of his life? Personally, I think there was a moment where Clayton had decided to change and become a better family man. And I feel like if he would have survived, maybe that would have been a possibility. Maybe they just would have been one big happy family, because that's kind of what Logan wanted and needed at the time. Leave your comments below. Tell me how you would have ended the story. Do you think, the characters were right for the movie? I think Logan, there I am calling by his not real name, but Zac Efron did a great job with Logan. In fact, I think everybody did a great job. Not to mention, if you did see the movie and you did read the book, were you like me and completely lost at one point in time? What the heck is going on? I don't want to feel stupid thinking that maybe it was just me, but just make me feel better and tell me I wasn't the only one. I know, a bunch of questions, but hey, not everybody wants to answer the same thing. Make sure you're subscribing to my channel. I promise to get back on track, and I will upload a video every week, just like I told you I would do it this week, and I got my computer hooked up so I didn't have to do it on a crappy iPhone. Also, all the tweets on Twitter, y'all are so freaking nice. Thank you so much for all the congrats and all the love that you share. If you're not following me, you can follow me at Miss Faulk, MISSFAULK. And like I say, I always promise to comment and tweet back because, it's just super cool. And you can follow me on Facebook. My name on there is also Miss Faulk. However, I'm really bad about not updating that as much because I have 4 different pages that I work on all the time. That one seems to fall by the wayside. So if you definitely want to get a hold of me, Twitter's the way to do it. About next week's book, I think I'm going to break down and try to listen to The Fiancé and read the book. And I'm going to tell you if I like it, and if I do like it, I may even be a nice person and take him to see the movie, because, I wear the pants in the family, and I kind of get to decide what we do.
Ryan, her fiancé, and no, she does not wear the pants in the family. They're just tighter, that's it.
So, if you've read it, leave me a comment telling me if you liked it or not. Until next week, laters, baby.